This video is the first of two tutorials on recoding data in R. Recoding is one of the most basic and helpful data management steps that you can do because it allows you to take one variable and re-express it in another way that might be suitable for your statistical analysis. So this video will focus on moving from an interval ratio variable and turning that into something categorical. The only really prerequisite for this video is a reasonable handle on how we use logical operators in R, because those are going to be coming up a fair amount. So if that's not something familiar to you, I have another video in this tutorial series that will cover logical operators, so you can go take a look. The other thing that I'll mention is that I'm going to be sticking to base R here. There are dozens of different ways that one might recode in R, and they'll all get you the same answer, and none is better than another. But for new users especially, it's easy to get lost in the package system that have some really helpful commands that are good for people that are comfortable in R, but for new users it can be a little bit bewildering. So here I'm going to just focus in base R because it'll get you the same answer and it's just the same amount of work. It's all personal preference. All right, so what I'm going to do is just load a copy of the 2016 General Social Survey that I've been using for these videos. And what we're going to do is take the variable age and turn it into a new variable that has three categories. The people that are between 18 and 29, the people that are between 30 and 59, and the people that are at least 60 years old. Otherwise, we're just ready to go. So the approach that I'll suggest that you take is to begin by just making a new variable called, whatever you would like. So I'll call mine age cat, and just give it all missing values. So you would just type GSS $age cat gets NA. And if you run that, it doesn't really look like anything happened, and you can check that for yourself. Age cat, nothing. And the only thing I've really done is just add a new column with 100% missing values in my GSS data frame. But what we can do now from there is we have this new variable that's kind of created, and we'll just patch in all of the non-missing values using logical operators. And I find it helpful to start with a variable set to all missing, because then the missing will stay missing and you don't have to deal with them in your code. Okay, so let's make the first age category. So here I would just type GSS $age cat, right? Because that's the variable we want to recode. Open up square brackets, and inside there, I'm going to do GSS $age is greater than or equal to 18, and GSS $age is less than 30. You could equivalently write less than or equal to 29, and you'll get the same result. And I'm going to say those people get a 1. And if you look kind of at what's going on inside these square brackets, we're going to create a series of true and false values for whether the respondent meets our age criteria. So here 18 to 29. And so if I run that, it doesn't really look like anything has happened. But if I do another preview of that variable, and here I'm going to ask for the first 20 using head instead of the default of 6, just to make sure I get at least 1 or 2. And you can see that there's a 1 that we've popped in all of a sudden. Okay, so that's the first category, and let's move down to the second. So here, just like before, I'm going to type GSS $age cat, open up my square brackets, because I'm going to be using more logical operators, and just do GSS $age is equal to or greater than 30, and GSS $age is less than or equal to 59. And so here, I'm going to just give those a value of 2. Run that. Again, it doesn't really look like much happened, but we didn't get an error message, so something happened. Let's go see. If you, again, just take the preview of the first 20 values, you can see that all of a sudden now we have 1s and 2s that are kind of sprinkled in there, as well as a bunch of missings. Those missings are going to be a combination of either our third category, our 60+ people, or the small number of respondents who are actually missing in the GSS. But let's just finish it off. GSS $age cat, open up our brackets because we're going to be using logic again. GSS $age is greater than or equal to 60. And we're going to give those people a 3. So now we can run that and check our preview again. and we can see that we've pretty much picked up everybody. I think there are maybe 5 or 6 respondents that have missing values for age. So those are still set to missing, which is what we want. Okay, so at that point, you're technically done because your recoding has been accomplished. But it's usually good strategy to convert this variable that we've made into a factor variable with the proper labels so that we can see exactly what we're doing. And the easiest way to do that is just using the factor command. So we would do something like this, GSS $age cat. So we're going to just overwrite this new variable that we made, gets factor GSS $age cat, and then we want to put labels, and then the names of the labels that we want. So here 18 to 29 in C, right? Because we're going to concatenate those 3 together, and then in quotes 30 to 59, and then finally 60 plus. And if you run that, it shouldn't look again like anything happened, except now if I look at the preview of age, you can see that the labels are now in place. And then the very last thing I'll show you, especially when you first get started recoding, it's a really good idea to compare the old and the new variable just to make sure that you've done it correctly. So you could do it like this, head, and then GSS, the whole data frame object, open up square brackets because we're going to just pull 2 columns, stick in a comma, and then you see again because we're going to ask for the values of age and age cat, case sensitive, in quotes for both. And you run that and you can see that our recoding did exactly what we wanted it to. So the first respondent was 47 and they were placed in the 30 to 59 bracket. The next one was 61, 60 plus. The next one was 72, 60 plus. And then the last 3 were 43, 55, 53. And again there you can see that they were all appropriately placed into the right categories. So that's all that there really is to it to recode in R. Like I said, there are dozens of different ways that one might approach this, but this one is, for new users, I think the most foolproof. So give this one a shot and just kind of go slowly, work through one step at a time, and it's pretty straightforward.